Greetings everyone. We are here to deliberate an excellent project for the ATL Marathon on the theme Energy and Transportation. And our team name is the Trio Squad. And our team members are myself, Pranav Shashwat,
Srinath,
and I am Raj Venkat. Today, one of the biggest problems India faces is air pollution. In India, the biggest mean of pollution is the hunger for energy. Burning of fossil fuels for the sake of energy need is increasing with the passage of time, and in a time period of about 55 years, we will be literally with no natural gas or crude oil. So we need to find something more affordable and innovative solution for this problem.
this is what we see on our on-field trip.
This is how Indian capital look nowadays. Air pollution has hit a dangerous level in large part of northern India. The air quality reading has hit over 700 in numbers, alarming us. Anything over 100 is considered as unhealthy. There is no respect from toxic form. People is complaining of irritation in eyes, headaches and cough. In fact, the air we breathing is equal to smoking 50 cigarettes a day. Basically, the polluted air may cause risk of heart attack, stroke, lung cancer, and wheezing disease.
The way to find a solution it doesn't to be a straight line. It had a lot of hairpin bends and turns. First, while thinking for a solution, we got a crazy idea of collecting the entire exhaust from the vehicles and industries and store them in huge containers. But the CO2 entering in the atmosphere is disturbing us. If we prevent it from entering the atmosphere, it will be fine. It is a crazy idea. But what to do with them that stayed as a question mark with us. By further thinking on the problem, the question mark started to dissolve like a sugar dissolving in water. Like a magician, if you are able to convert the waste into fuel, it would be great. But we need a magician for it. The magician we got is science. It is a magic language helped us. The internet gave us a lot of information to us. We interconnected the data with the help of our teachers.
burning of natural gases. Here, 1 mole of methane reacts with 2 mole of oxygen and gives 1 mole of carbon dioxide and 2 mole of water and heat. We have carbon dioxide as a non-usable product and react and create as more problems by its excess present in the atmosphere. Also, various lung problems and even at some cases it leads to death. From this, Raj Venkat will take over.
As previously explained by Srinath, we saw the simple equation of burning of natural gases. Let's see it with the third product, heat. This reaction is said to be irreversible only if we take out the third product, that's heat energy evolved. The energy stored in the bonds of hydrogen are broke and used. So when we provide the same heat again to it, the CO2 and H2O bonds broke and again form CH bonds, which results the formation of methane. Is it possible only with methane? The answer is no. If you take a look at with these two equations of exhaust of diesel and petroleum, only the number of moles are differing, but the products are similar, that is carbon dioxide and water. It should not create any problem while processing the exhaust. Just to make the equation simplified, we are moving with methane.
Twist in the way where we take energy from also hugely matters. It is not so by just collecting the exact we can't process them and get the methane as 80% of Indian total electricity is depend on fossil fuels. So the CO2 that is carbon dioxide which is collected from a home is converted into methane by releasing CO2 in some other part of India and the process will create more wastage of energy according to energy conversion law. So we can't use our electricity. The actual innovation. Now we are going to process or convert them into methane by using enormous energy buried under our feet, that is geothermal energy. We are going to use binary cycle geothermal system. The obtained fuel is ready combustible as it is already mixed with oxygen. We can use this fuel to power the vehicle and industries. And as a cycle, again, the released exhaust is being collected and processed. This solution can't reduce the present carbon level in atmosphere, but in long run, it will reduce the stress on atmosphere and stop entry of new CO2 in the atmosphere. Now, Pranav will explain what is binary cycle and geothermal system.
In today's technological world, there are many types of geothermal system. In a normal geothermal system, the hot water which is being pumped from the earth is being directly supplied to the turbines and produce electricity. Whereas in a flash steam geothermal system, the hot steam water which is being pumped from the earth is being first introduced to a low pressure container and then transferred to a turbine and then produced electricity. Now let's talk about the binary cycle geothermal system. The binary cycle geothermal system works differently. In this, a heat exchanger plays a major role in it. The hot water which is being pumped from the earth is being directly supplied to the heat exchangers where the exchange of heat is taken between the hot water which is being pumped from the earth and the binary cycle working fluid. Now the rest of the cold water which is being collected as a hot water from the earth is being released into the ground and the heat which is the heat absorbed by the binary cycle working fluid is taken to a turbine and rotated. Generally, the binary cycle working fluid has a character of low boiling point, so it vapors too fast and has a more vapor pressure and can rotate the turbine more fast. Now let's see our project. This container is to store the collected exhaust. That is a CO2 and H2O mixture. Here the CO2 and H2O mixture is being stored in a compressed form, and this container is to store the methane plus oxygen which is being produced during the process, and this is the heat exchanger. Now let's look on the process. The compressed exhaust is being pushed to the heat exchangers through this brown pipes, and the hot water which is being pumped from the earth is being supplied to the heat exchangers through these red pipes. Now the transfer of heat takes place between the CO2 and H2O mixture and the hot water stream. Now the reaction starts place. Thus we reverse the burning of natural gas equation. The CO2 and H2O mixture plus the heat which is being absorbed from the hot water stream gives the methane plus oxygen which is being stored in this container, and the cold water which has been previously taken from the ground as the hot water is being released to this ground through these blue pipes. This is the detailed structure of the heat exchangers. In this, the hot water which has been pumped from the earth is being inputted to the heat exchanger through this pathway, and the heat is exchanged between the hot water in this coil and the binary cycle working fluid in the container, and the remaining cold water is being existed through this path. It is known as a cold water because the heat from the hot water is being absorbed and it is no more hot, so it is known as a cold water. And the hot binary cycle working fluid is being replaced by the cold binary cycle working fluid. And according to the Ricci-Hartley's principle, we can use catalyst to speed up the reaction, and the favorable condition for this reaction to take place in a favorable way is more pressure and high temperature. The more pressure, we're going to compress it, and the high temperatures attained by the geothermal energy. Rajendra will explain the practical implementation of our project.
Practical problems on implementing the project. The first most problem we should get is where we are going to collect our raw materials, that is CO2 and H2O. If we are saying that we are going to collect it from the atmosphere, it would make the process difficult and cost effective and make the innovation useless. So we are going to collect it from the industries and automobiles. In industries, it is easy to collect as they are not moving. So we can fix containers and compress the exhaust. And after that, we should collect them and take it to a centralized geothermal plant and process them. But when we talk about automobiles, it is little difficult as they are dynamic. So we are going to fix many compressors in the automobiles to compress the entire exhaust released by them into the container. And we are going to divide the whole storage into 3 by 4 and 1 by 4. Do you think why? It is the 3 by 4 will be known as the primary container, will show a alert to change to the next container. That is, the remaining 1 by 4, which will be known as the secondary container, will act as a reserve volume. After the primary container gets filled, we should search for a nearest unloading point to unload the exhaust. Now the second problem will arise where we will set the unloading points. We also have the solution for it. Every petrol station will have a collecting point as a duty. As people as people go for the petrol station for petrol and diesel, why can't they release the exhaust of the same in the petrol station? For the people who provide the vehicle exhaust will be paid a considerable amount so that it will make them to collect exhaust as they are changing their waste, which is released into the atmosphere into money. We can also use the collected exhaust, which is stored in compressed form in the petrol station and vehicles as a fire extinguishers in case of an emergency, as CO2 and water are good fire extinguishers. The amount spent in collecting this exhaust and paying the citizens for providing the exhaust will be compromised by the amount which is gained by selling the methane which is formed during the process. So there will be no financial burden on the government for the process, and as well as the burden on the environment is also been reduced by the humans, and together we can make this innovation possible.
Thank you for watching our video patiently. Everything is impossible until someone make it possible. Together, we will make it possible. Jai Hind.